Hi, maybe you remember that we had discussed the monitor mode and the packet injection capabilities when we talked about the Kali Linux compatible USB Wi-Fi cards. But we didn't talk about what they are doing, so we're going to learn about them in this lecture. So packet injection actually allows us to inject packets, inject data into the router, and we're going to use it later on in our WEP cracking section. Okay, so you're going to understand exactly what I'm talking about when we deal with WEP encryption attacks. Okay, but we're going to focus on monitor mode right now, because we're going to spend so much time in monitor mode when we try to gather information, when we try to capture packets going on inside the network without being connected to it. Yes, monitor modes lets us collect information from a network without having to be connected to it. Okay, so we are trying to decrypt the password. We are trying to capture the password of a router in this case. Okay, so we don't know the password of the router and we're going to crack it. But before we do that, we can still gather data, we can still capture the packets going on within this network with monitor mode. So we have to enable monitor mode, and we have to listen for coming and going connections, coming and going packets. So we're going to use monitor mode just for that reason. And actually, we cannot connect to the internet with monitor mode. We cannot connect to any router. We cannot connect to any network with monitor mode. We can only sniff data. We can only sniff packets with monitor mode. We use managed mode, and managed mode is actually a regular usage of our USB Wi-Fi card. We can connect to the network, we can connect to some router, of course if we know the password, if we can capture the password, and we can go to the internet, we can just try to steal data from other computers that are on the same network. So before we go on and connect to that network, we're going to use the monitor mode. And after we get the password, we're going to use the managed mode. So it is very easy to go from monitor to managed and from managed to monitor, and I'm going to show you how to do that within Kali Linux in this lecture. So let me go back to my Kali machine. And of course, I'm using the bridge adapter with my USB Wi-Fi card plugged in. So let us discuss how we can go from managed mode to monitor mode. So we are in the managed mode by default. Okay, so this is the regular mode that we always use with USB Wi-Fi cards. If we know the password of some network, we can connect to it, we can connect to the internet, and in order to go from manage to monitor, you have to run this command: airmon-ng start wlan-o. And of course, you have to be sure that your interface is named wlan-o. In order to confirm it, you can run ifconfig and see that interface name of yours is actually the wlan-o. It might be wlan1, for instance. Then you have to write wlan1 in here. And as you can see, now I ran this airmon-ng start wlan-o command, and it gave me some results. So it gives me the list of the process that may interrupt my monitor mode in here. So maybe you have to run airmon-ng check kill in order to be successful, but most of the times it still works without killing this process. So in order to confirm this, I will run ifconfig, or iwconfig in order to see that my mode has changed. So if I run ifconfig, then I will see that my interface is named WLAN-O-MON right now. And MON, of course, stands for monitor mode. So I'm right now in the monitor mode, and if I run iwconfig WLAN-O, okay, WLAN-O-MON rather than WLAN-O, because right now it's named WLAN-O-MON, it shows me the current status of my interface. And as you can see, right now I'm in the monitor mode. I cannot connect to the internet, but I can sniff data from networks. And we're going to see how to do that in the next lecture, but for right now, let me run airmon-ng stop WLAN-O-MON in order to go from monitor mode to the managed mode. Right now it says it can't not be found, so I have to run this with dash, of course. airmon-ng stop WLAN-O-MON worked for me. Now if I say ifconfig, then I will see that WLAN-O is back at this moment. And if I run iwconfig WLAN-O, then I will see my mode is now managed. So I managed to go from monitor to managed and vice versa. So let me show you another way to do it in case this fails in your own trial. So you have to do it manually without using airmon-ng at some cases. And in order to do that, first you have to run ifconfig WLAN-O down in order to bring down your connection. Then you're going to say iwconfig WLAN-O mod monitor, okay? And this will manually put your mode into monitor. Then you can just say ifconfig WLAN-O up, and this will bring up your connection. Then if you say iwconfig WLAN-O, then you can see your mode is right now in monitor. And in this case, you may have to run service network manager restart like you did in the previous lecture, but sometimes it isn't necessary. So we have seen two ways to go from managed to monitor and go back vice versa. Okay, of course you can run ifconfig WLAN-O mod managed to manually go back to the managed mode, in this case like this, and it will still work. So whatever works for you, you can try on your own system, then you can confirm it with iwconfig WLAN-O. So we're going to stop in here, and within the next section we're going to see how to use this monitor method in order to sniff data from networks.